Welcome back to the Israeli Independence Day party as we celebrate 73 years of the great state of Israel. I am Sid Rosenberg, host of Bernie and Sid in the Morning here, and had the fortunate opportunity to host, 6 hours of radio this morning on ABC, which was great. Did a show with Bernard, did an hour with Joan Hamburg, and then an hour solo. And I've been here since noon. We've had some great acts already today, some really, really great acts, and we've got a lot more still to come your way. This next gentleman I met a little while ago, he was shooting a video with John By the way, I'm a handsome, big, rugged guy, aren't I? For a Jew, right? Look at that. I just saw myself on video. Saw this gentleman outside in the hallway. He was interviewing John Catsimatidis. Then he interviewed me. He's a very talented rapper, and his name is Lipa. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to Lipa.
Okay, nice to meet you, everybody. I just brought with me a piece of art. It's in Yiddish. You know, as you get older, you mature a little bit. 10 years ago, if I would get an invitation to be in 770, I would want to show off that I know to sing an Elton John song. But as you get older, now I want to say they hear Elton John, they hear whatever they want all day. Now they should hear a Yiddish song. So this is a piece of art. I'm also doing art, and I'm combining it with music. And this has Highland Souls. That means basically heal us. And the whole world needs a little bit of healing. One way or the other. I want to dedicate this song to the whole world, and that we should get healing. We should get healing through healing, and with a shot, without a shot, the whole COVID should vanish. We should all have true happiness. And I'm going to use the Hebrew prayer, V'rapo Yerape. I also want to say a little story before I start the song. This story is about the great rabbi of Satmar. And it's an amazing story that we can all learn from this. You know, I used to listen to 770 when I was 20 years old, I should say, driving home late nights after weddings. And 770 is known to do a lot of arguments and giving, you know, it's a very provocative station to talk about their beliefs in a very strong way. So I think this story is very applicable. There was once a politician that came into the Satmar rabbi and wanted to ask him for an endorsement here in New York. And he knew that the Satmar rabbi has certain political issues with Israel. So he thought that he's going to bribe the rabbi of Satmar by gossiping against Israel, and then the rabbi will endorse him. But to his surprise, the rabbi said, I can't endorse you. So when he left the room, his servant says, Rabbi, why can't you endorse this guy? He looks like he's against Israel. So the rabbi told him, you know, when the two brothers are fighting at home, if a stranger should only try to hit one brother, what would the other brother do? He'll stick his throat out for the brother. Even at home, they're fighting. He said, we're as a Jewish nation, we're all brothers. I have my beliefs and views different than them, but no stranger politician should come to me and talk against my brothers. So here I am on the radio. 770 gives us a wonderful. 770 has a Jewish mystical, almost a mystical number also, because the Lubavitcher rabbi lived on 770 Ocean Parkway. So it's a very big deal in Lubavitch. So 770 gives me the opportunity to sing here. And you say I'm a rapper. I don't know if I'm a rapper, but I do art and music and fast rhymes. But the lyrics that I'm going to sing now is very similar to the word rapper, because it's verapoi. But verapoi in Hebrew means you should heal us. It's like a thing about a doctor. And I made this song during the COVID times. Heil ins os, which means heal us all. Let's take it away with the music and let's sing this beautiful song. And meanwhile, the introduction goes, I want to take a few seconds of silence for Rush Limbaugh, who was a great friend of the Jewish nation and the whole world. May he rest in peace. Die hast de koech zi heilen, die dann refier aus teilen, heilen so. Verapoi, Yirape, Virapo, Yirape, die hast de koech zi heilen, die dan refie austeilen, heilen zoos. Heil, 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 heilen zoos. Heil, 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 heilen zoos. Yirape, 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 heilen schönos, heilen schönos, heilen schönos, heilen schönos, größte Doktor. God Almighty, heal all of us now. God Almighty, heal all of us now. We say, V'rapoi, Yirape, V'rapoi, Rape. Heal us now, the greatest doctor. Bring us healing with all our dealings, with all our feelings that we go through. COVID came just out of the blue. It came to me and you. Please, God, heal us. Heal us now, we ask you, for the right medicine, the right injection. We aim for perfection. We're here at 770 News. We have the connection and we feel it. Die hast de koech zi heilen, die dan vier austeilen, heilen so. Healer, heal us. Healer, you can heal us. You have the power to heal us. Give it choice of healing. Heal us, all of us now. Heil, 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 it's all. Heil, 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 it's all. V'rapo, yirape, v'rapo, yirape, yirape, heil, it's all. Heal us now, 'cause you know how. To COVID will say ciao, heil and soul. This day is such a hit when I'm sitting here with Sid Rosenberg. It's such a perfect fit. And yes, I'm here now with the opportunity to bring some unity to the world of all walks of life. If we're gonna unite, we're gonna survive, because unity will keep us alive. We will strive, because if we get together, we understand each other. To a sister, to a brother, we show compassion, we show devotion with all our emotion. Then the Almighty will give us what we need. Just what we do to others, we will deserve ourselves. Heiling souls, heal us now, heal us now. So why don't we talk a little bit? Yes, I want to talk to you. You know, it used to be times I was listening to the radio and I wanted to call in, but I was embarrassed if I'll have a Hasidic accent. But then I went to school in Columbia University, and my teachers had a worse accent than me, some of them. So I learned that it's not about the accent, it's about acceptance. Once I posted something on Facebook and my English wasn't correct. So one of my Yiddish friends said, "You accepted an Ivy League school, you should know better English." I said I was accepted here for my Yiddish. So, yeah. So, Columbia University, that's where I learned arts.
Talk about acceptance, and I'm going to admit this. You're a lot more religious than I am. Most of you gentlemen out here are a lot more religious than I am. I was actually bar mitzvahed in a Reformed temple. Now, wait a second.
Kneich, I'm not sure we're all more religious. We look more religious. It could be that you and your heart, with all the good deeds that you do, you're even higher than me.
Well, thank you. That's nice of you to say. So, very nice of you to say. Thank you. So, I get bar mitzvahed at a place on Avenue R in Brooklyn. My rabbi's name, I hope he's not listening. Name was Dworkin. This guy, on Friday nights after Shabbos, people will go downstairs for the Kaddish. There'd be another door behind the door for the Kaddish. And they would literally have blackjack tables. They had booze, they had women. And this was the shul that I was bar mitzvahed at. And I thought that's where everybody got bar mitzvahed, blackjack tables and women and booze. And then I went to like a real bar mitzvah afterwards and I found out. But my point is, I felt for years.
No, but
My point is, I felt for years that like people who look different than me in the Jewish religion didn't accept me as a Jew. Like, you're kind of a Jew, but not really. And I came to find that that is the biggest misconception amongst Jewish people.
Exactly, and Jewish people, the people who look like me, need to learn to accept people like you. Because you know what? I didn't even know it when I said it, but now I fully understand I was correct. Because if I would grow up in a shul where my bar mitzvah would be with blackjack tables and booze and women, I wouldn't even be half Jewish the way you are. And for you to be like this after going through such a bar mitzvah, you're an amazing human being.
Well, I did a lot of years at yeshiva. I went to Ocean Primary School in Canarsie, as a little boy. And I eventually graduated from Solomon Schechter High School on East 5th in Brooklyn. It's now defunct. It's out of business. My orthodontist stole all the money. But it's a true story. It was my orthodontist. But I've got so much Hebrew training in my background. And my father, God rest his soul, he died in July. He was a very religious Jew. That even though I don't necessarily look the part all the time, I don't daven every day, I don't go to shul every Shabbos, I am a very, very proud Jewish man. And admit that to anybody I can. But I was roughed up once by the guys in the mitzvah mobile. They roughed me up. They get like physical, these guys. They're like, "Did you daven today?" I'm like, "No." "Why not?" I'm like, "Did you wrap the filling today?" I'm like, "No." That's the only time I ever got nervous around Jewish people. Otherwise, it's been fine.
Yeah, if somebody asks you again if you put on film today,
Yeah.
tell them first, "Did you ask me if I had breakfast?"
I should just say it like that?
Yeah.
But I'd be lying. You're not supposed to lie if you're...
No, not you ask them. First, they should worry about your breakfast, about your finances.
Okay.
And if they really want to show they help you, then we can worry about film,
Okay, great.
But that's
Right.
what I think. But I want to tell you one thing you're missing out without having a yarmulke. Because when I came downstairs here, I knew 770 is like more of the side that not going to care if I have a mask or not. They try to heal the world in a different way.
Right.
But downstairs, they asked me for a mask. And I was kind of running late, like a chassid,
Yeah.
And I didn't have a mask. They were not going to let me in. So I took my yarmulke. I said, "Here's my mask." And
Oh, that's brilliant.
yeah, and they let me in.
That's
Now,
smart.
You couldn't have done that.
No, I couldn't have done that. No, that's true. I should just wear a yarmulke just for that. By the way, we have a mutual friend I just found out. He said that you, 2 years ago, I was the Grand Marshal of the actual Israeli Day Parade, which was a huge honor, And one of my dear friends who works very closely with Maimonides Medical Center in Brooklyn helped set up most of the festivities that day. And he said you offered to sing that day. His name is Hesh Jorgenbaum. He's watching right now. He's watching right now. He said you offered to sing, and he just watched you and said you sang beautifully.
Yes,
so.
thank you. Yeah, he's a good man. And it's all we try. When we see people on a personal level, then we connect with people.
Yeah.
When people walk on the outside, they look different. We think, okay, that's a stranger to me. But then we connect. We see we're all just human beings.
Absolutely.
We're human beings that we try to do the right thing.
Well, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah,
that was a beautiful song you just did.
Thank you.
You got one more in you?
I'll do one more. I'll do an upbeat song, and I'll have to teach you a little bit Yiddish. So how do you say awesome in Yiddish?
Awesome.
Yeah. That's like saying, how do you say window in English?
I mean, I know a couple of my grandmother, God rest her soul, Anne. She was a pain in the ass, but I loved her. She's my grandmother. She lived in Trump Village in Coney Island, and she would write these long letters to her relatives, and it would all be in Yiddish. And I remember words like "von Lipa," and I never knew what they meant, but I remember the words. But otherwise, I'm not very big when it comes to Yiddish.
So I'm going to teach you a word.
Okay.
Awesome is gewaldig.
Is what?
Gewaldig. Gewaldig.
Gewaltig.
Gewaldig.
Oh, gewaltig.
Yeah, gewaldig, yeah. So the main vowels is a G and a VA, geva.
Gotcha.
With the L, gewaldig.
Right.
Gewaldig.
Right.
So, but there's also a scary word that's gewalt. That's like when it's scary, oi gewalt, like oi weh.
Right, sure.
So how do you make from gewalt, which is scary, you make awesome, gewaldig.
Oh.
You add, in Hebrew, so it would be like an IG, you add a yud gimel.
Oh.
So you take the word gewalt, you spell it with 2 more letters, yud gimel, it becomes gewaldig. Not to go too deep here with Kabbalah and mysticism.
All right, even though you already have.
Yeah. Yid Gimel is the number 13, which is your bar mitzvah.
I do know that, right?
And 13 is the 13, there's the 13 rules of Maimonides, which you mentioned, which is named after the greatest Jewish doctor, the Rambam, Maimonides.
True.
He said there's 13 rules of how to believe in Messiah, how to believe in the forthcoming of redemption. So if we have the 13 rules in our mind, basically the message is if we believe, we can take the sad gewalt and turn it
Can I ask you something? I want to stop you for a second here. How do you do that? Like, all my friends are like you that are really religious. You take the most banal, trite conversation and you make it like this, and I don't want to curse today, but like this fucking, like spiritual, mystical, unbelievable. Like, how do you do that? Do you really believe all that stuff? Or?
So you asked me a question. People who know me know that I will, more than anybody maybe in the community, I try to go to the other end to be honest. And when you ask me if I really believe, I can't, the word yes carries a big part, and I can't just say yes like outright.
You can't do that.
Because
I could do that.
You know what? Because it's a long life workout. You know what belief means?
No.
If I ask you now if it's raining outside, and we're not there for an hour, if you tell me yes, it would be funny because you were not there for an hour. But you could say, if it rained an hour ago, you could say, I believe it's raining.
Right.
The word believe is already a question.
Here you go again.
I believe. I every day work to believe that I'm doing the right thing.
I believe you are too.
Yeah.
I think I believe I love you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Ani ohevatai. See that?
Yeah, otcha. Yeah,
I have some training, folks.
So I believe that if you have the believe in yourself and believe in Hashem, that you can take the very sad word of gewalt, of sadness, and make it gewaldig, awesome.
Awesome.
And I'm going to repeat in the song 13 times the word gewaldig.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll put in some lyrics. He said I have to do some fast rhyming just to show something. So you can give me that track over there. You're a believer, you were a achiever. You were a believer, you were a achiever. If you are a believer, you are an achiever. If you're a believer, you're an achiever. Then you become the awesome person of the world. As we say in Yiddish, gewaltig. Oi, wie gewaltig, 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 gewaltig. Oi, wie gewaltig. Oi, wie gewaltig, 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 gewaltig. Gewaltig, 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 gewaltig. If you're a believer, you were an achiever. If you were a believer, you were an achiever. Sid Rosenberg went to yeshiva. He's an achiever. You were a believer. You were a believer. Akol, 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 akol. Me gewaltig, gewaltig. Opa, it's gonna be awesome. The world is coming to a better place, everybody. If you're a believer, you you will achieve. I'm here in 770 radio, my devotion I want to show. Here when you look at the video, come on, I wish so, that you should have a better life. You know how, if you do it, if you make it, you can break it, because you can open every wall in heaven. When I'm here with 770 in the house, oh yeah, we sing to the beat. I sing like a yid, like a Hasidic yid. I'm giving you a certain treat. It's about mitzvah, I don't have any blackjack table. Oh no, 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 I don't have any blackjack table. I don't have any other people you mentioned. I don't have that show. I don't have a mitzvah in a shul where they have music on Shabbos. But my job is to come and cheer you all up, because you can enjoy every drop. If you say a little bit Yiddish, that you love everyone, you'll never be done, because it's so much fun to love each other on and on. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, because you are awesome. You're gewaldig. Come on, let's go. Gewaldig. You are gewaldig. I'm gewaldig. I'm gewaldig, gewaldig. I want to thank you so much, and it's awesome to meet you. And from the depth of my heart, like a simple man, a simple Jew, a simple American Jew, I want to wish America and Israel and the entire world to have gewaldige times, to have great times, to have freedom. Freedom grams with Layahidim. Layahidim is the Purim song that we sing, that it should be good for all the Jewish people, not only Hasidim. It should be good for all your friends, which is in Hebrew Yedidim. And things should be amazing for you, for me, for he and she, for everyone, because you're all gewaldig.
Let's give another hand to Lipa. That was really great. That was really great. Heshi tells me, too, the words love and one also are a numerical 13. He said you'd be impressed with that. Are you impressed with that?
Yes, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. The Hebrew word for it, not to complicate things, is echad. Can you say it? Gewaldig is easier to say.
Echad. Yeah, I can say that. You were great. Thank you. All of it has been great so far today. I enjoyed that a lot.